Matt from New Gamer Nation. I'm with CJ, and we just took a look at not Homefront 2, Homefront the Revolution at PAX Prime.
It is Homefront the Revolution. It is a completely new chapter. It is a reimagining of the premise of the original game. Different studio than the original, different publisher, completely different style of gameplay. You saw that it's an open world, first-person shooter, but again retains that idea of a fallen America, an occupation, and joining a resistance and becoming a guerrilla fighter, taking the battle to the streets, engaging in all of these like hit and run ambushes, like sabotage, and then eventually inspiring the people to rise up alongside you.
Yeah. So there's 3 zones in the game. There's a green zone, a yellow zone, and a red zone. And we took a look at the red zone, which definitely has the most action from what I've been told.
So the red zone is, they tend to be like the more sort of war-torn outskirts of the city. I mean, there's bombed out buildings. There's a lot of mountains of rubble, and it's where it's a shoot-on site area. So like, it's definitely where you're going to get into the most sort of like wild gunfights.
Yeah.
The yellow zone is where the civilian populace lives. They've been corralled there. They're under constant security. You saw the seeker drones in the?
Yes.
So they'll just zip around and check everybody's IDs from time to time. There are security cameras, and you still have the foot patrols. But I mean, it's interesting because the contrast between like the red zone, where it's all out action, and the yellow zone, where it's like you really don't even want to have your gun drawn because you're going to draw too much attention to yourself, is night and day, and it requires a completely different play style in order to achieve your objectives.
Yeah, because I tried to go balls to the wall in the red zone, and I quickly learned that was a huge mistake.
Right.
Things escalated
really quickly. So
yeah.
And it's one of the things that's really unique about Homefront the Revolution is it requires a very different mentality from typical shooters, right? Where you're sort of an unstoppable force, and it's all about forward progress, right? You will plow through a group of enemies and continue moving on to the next objective, or cutscene, scripted sequence, whatever. It's the guerrilla fantasy is actually like an inverse power trip. Like, you're not the strongest or the
running away is a good choice.
It is a good choice, but it's something that you sort of have to. Well, you come to it on your own as you experienced yourself. When you try and stay and fight, you quickly get overwhelmed and find yourself outnumbered, outgunned. And so the first couple of times that happens, then you start to change that mentality, and you're thinking, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit him with a Molotov, and then I'm going to run like hell. I'm going to do just enough damage to feel like I made some significant progress, and then I'm getting out. And it definitely makes you much, much more aware of your surroundings. Like, you're constantly assessing, like, okay, there's a hole in that wall, there's an alley to my left, there's a fire escape that goes up to those roofs, and if I look at my mini-map, there's a bike stash not too far from me, so like I know where my exit routes are. Versus, again, I can only go forward.
Right, and now while I was in the red zone, I noticed that I could scavenge a little bit. And can you talk a little bit about the scavenging system and the customization and modding weapons, all that jazz?
Absolutely. So yeah, we have the ingredients that you'll find in like desk drawers, lockers, coolers, just things left around. Those ingredients are used to replenish items in your Guerrilla Toolkit. And your Guerrilla Toolkit is, when you bring up the weapon pie, there's a suite of items along the bottom that you can use to, either destroy things or distract them. So we've got the incendiaries, we've got explosives, we've got the distraction devices and the hacking tools. And as you're playing, you'll encounter a situation like, I've got a sniper on a rooftop, and I really just want to cross this intersection, so I'm going to take a fistful of firecrackers, throw them around the corner, and when the sniper swings over to look at those, I'm going to zip across. Or as you saw
in the demo, you can hack the seeker.
You can hack the seeker drones, or you can strap the explosives to the RC car and drive it up into a group of enemies.
Really cool.
So, and again, as you're playing, you're going to be using this stuff fairly regularly, and to not draw players out of the experience, to not have them to go sorting through a menu, looking through their inventory. What do I have? What do I like? How do I put all this stuff together? you'll scavenge these ingredients, and then when you need more, you just go, you look whether or not you've got, the 2 or 3 items that are required to, I think it's just 2 actually, the 2 items that are required to put another one together. You hit the button, you've got more.
Nice.
You don't have to worry about like where's the nearest shop. And then in terms of the weapon customization, you'll also find objects that you can sort of redeem for cash. The cash you then do take to a store, and you'll buy, new optics for your gun. You'll buy like the foregrips or bipods or things like that.
But you can customize on the fly.
You can customize on the fly. You hit up on the D-pad. You go to the sort of side view of the weapon. You're like, what do I? Again, it's all about assessing the situation and figuring out
what I need at that moment.
Yeah, what is the best way through here. So again, I've got that sniper. Maybe I'm not throwing the distraction things, but I've got a suppressor and like a 4X sight. So I'll slap both of those on and take one very like carefully measured shot, and now I can clear that intersection in a completely different way. Or we also have weapon conversions, and so you'll be playing along and you'll find blueprints in the world, and those blueprints will unlock these homebrew variants of weapons. So in the demo you saw the shotgun that turns into an incendiary like
napalm sprayer.
Yeah, napalm sprayer. Also in this demo, and I don't know how many people have discovered it yet. If you take the M4 or the assault rifle, you can break the upper receiver off and put a limpet mine launcher on there. So it's a magnetic mine launcher that if you see a vehicle driving by, you just sort of hold it over there for a second, then fire, and it'll stick to the side and then detonate. That's one of the other hidden gems in the demo. Yeah, well, the studio was originally Free Radical Design, and they designed the Time Splitters games, and so there's a lot of it's a very we're telling a serious and we hope very gritty war story, but at the same time there's a lineage there of creative weapon design, and I think that definitely shows through in the conversions.
Well, the game looks great. I really appreciate the time. So PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
And I believe Mac and Linux are also in the works.
Mac and Linux as well.
And early 2016, we'll have multiplayer betas this winter. We'll discuss how we sign up for that in the coming weeks. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time. Thank you, CJ.
Thanks for coming.